crazy part about it is that Allendale is actually like headquarters.
For Wicked Ways?
Yeah, so it's like, that's kind of the one that started and kind of became Wicked Ways. Or actually, I think headquarters actually might have been like 28th Street, but for the sake of like people who've been there the longest and kind of been around.
Oh, like, you're talking
Yeah,
tattooists?
Yeah, there's a lot of artists there who've been doing it for a long time, have experience. All those guys have been working together for 3, 4, 5, 7 years. These guys have been together for a while, and me coming in, I'm learning a lot from these other artists there, and I appreciate that.
Do you know how long the person who's been there the longest?
They're the longest?
Yeah.
I feel like, as far as I heard of, is one of the artists across the hall from me. He's been there for about 7 years.
7 years, wow.
Yeah.
So, are you even, like, is your actual apprentice James?
Yeah. So, usually, as someone being interested in tattooing, you would go into a shop or something, or, how I do. I would have a connection or a friend or maybe my artist.
Yeah.
You would go to them if you're interested. You would say, I'm interested and I would like to start learning. Some people, you pay for schooling, basically what is an apprenticeship. You will go to an artist and learn from them and basically learn their ways, and you do it that way. You basically shadow their tattooing, and then you start making it your own once you learn and stuff like that. But him specifically has kind of brought me in, and
took you under your
like
wing, like under his wing.
Yeah, and I like his style. I have his work on my skin.
Right.
So I've drawn everything. He's just tattooed it.
Right.
So.
But your style, you're trying to develop your own style while learning how to.
Our styles are very similar, is what I'm
trying
to kind of put it, is because we're both black and gray artists. He's great with color. I've seen this guy do color, and he's great.
Yeah, I've seen from like his Facebook stuff that the color stuff does look good.
Yeah, and I'm more focusing on black and gray right now. I'm not trying to put a lot of things on my plate. I want to learn something, be real good at it, because I can tattoo for 20 years and never use a dot of color. And I can still make it, so it's very common.
And you've used a little bit of color already.
Yeah, I know how to pack the color and stuff like that. I choose not to. I don't like working with it, really. It doesn't excite me. Doing a smooth shading of black to gray or black to white.
I'm listening. I'm just gonna breeze through that. Just keep talking.
But from a smooth shade from black to gray, I find is way harder and it's more interesting to me than being able to just fill something in, or color is different because it takes a lot to saturate it and punch it into the skin. So
right,
I think it's kind of easier.
Okay.
But a smooth shade, and there's so much different inks. There's probably thousands of.
So honestly, you easily could have learned, like, not even found the one that you like the most, like, using wise. Or like ink.
Oh yeah, I still to this day, I've been doing it for just January was a year.
Yeah.
Remember, I started a year ago, and now it's a year, and now I'm working in a shop. So I learned from these other guys, and they're telling me, try this ink. They're handing me, some of their older bottles that, they might have not finished, because it's very common. You only use half a bottle, put it away, and then you buy a new bottle because you didn't like the way it was or something,
Or you don't want to use it if you don't have to use it for a long period of time.
Or some guys will save it. They'll be like, this was really good for a portrait, but for like something simple like a walk-in wine glass, I don't want to waste that ink. So they'll put it away.
Okay.
For that sake, I've had guys come and give me a half bottle of inks that they're like, I love this, but I have 2 bottles of it here.
That's pretty sweet.
Because, they've been there for a long, these guys do make a lot of money tattooing. And for them to just buy a $20 bought out ink or something, you know. They're willing to give it to an apprentice so he can learn and he can be at their level. And that's what I like about these guys is they're not
like stuck up kind of thing.
Yeah, they're not pushing me away or like, oh, new
they're very
artists.
accepting of you. Yeah,
They're like,
that's sweet.
Dude, you want to pierce? I'm like, yeah. But
why not?
The other day I went and watched one of the guys pierce this dude's nose. I have my nose pierced. I change my nose piercings every day.
Right.
You know? I clean my stuff. I could see it. But watching someone pierce and then imagine doing it yourself, it's a different feeling. And I think I can get to the point where I'll pierce, but it's gross to me.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a different thing. There could be a lot of blood. Not
to cut you off, but I just want to introduce you because we just got like into something, and I want to keep definitely going on that and rolling with it. Mm-hmm. But I'm Drew Hernandez, and today with me on the Candid Conversation is my cousin Benito Hernandez, and as you guys probably have realized just throughout the last couple of minutes of what we've been doing, Benny is a tattoo artist. He just got an apprenticeship at Wicked Ways. You want to tell them what your Instagram account is so they can contact and reach you if they ever want any work or anything?
Facebook, you can get a hold of me at Benito Hernandez Jr. Instagram, you can get a hold of me at Tats by Blanco. Or Snapchat is another way. If people do have me on Snapchat, I won't give that out. But if you have me on there, you know, you can message me for a setup. But preferably,
yeah,
I think Facebook is turning into kind of a business, like a LinkedIn thing. And, you know, Wicked Ways is very active on Facebook. So I, in the past, wasn't active, and I got to get more active and into that. Because
that's exactly how what I'm doing for myself for like this podcast. So like I understand that process.
Yeah.
But I'll make sure that I give everything out there in the description, so anyone who wants to like contact you or talk to you about anything, they can hit you up and get some tattoo work. So just backtracking on like how you were and how like what made you think like how'd you figure out you were a good drawer? How'd you figure out like, man, tattooing is something like I'd be interested on doing? Like, can you kind of like explain on that?
So honestly, it probably goes so far back. Probably, I'd say like 2nd, 3rd grade. You know, I remember there was this kid in class, and he used to draw a lot. And you know, being in 2nd or 3rd grade, seeing this kid draw these skeletons holding, you know, a candle, or you know, just these weird human creatures, or he was drawing monsters, dragons. You know, I would always see this kid draw stuff, and I'm like, you know, that's sweet. So I would start drawing, and you know, my dad was drawing and stuff like that too. You know, I would see him draw stuff every now and then when he'd get bored. And my cousins, they would spray paint, they're airbrush artists, you know. So I
from
got
your
a lot
mom's side.
Yeah, I got a lot of art in the family, and I'm
my dad, your uncle is a really good artist, and like he can draw really well, but that gene did not get passed to me. Like I can't do that for anything. So like you got the good gene for being able to draw.
Yeah. So, you know, I would always draw on stuff, and once I got older and I was like, you know, I kind of want some tattoos. I drew my tattoos how I wanted them to fit my body, and I bring them to this guy who I did some research and find out some guys who were good black and gray artists, or people who I may have seen this person's work, and that's how I found James. I got him to do my tattoos, and over the years of doing it, he was just like, hey man, you know, you draw all your stuff perfect to size, you come in, you make my job easier, and
right.
You know exactly what you want. You bring it and you just say, put this on my skin.
That's sweet. So yeah, because you drew my tattoo, both of my tattoos, and you've done one of mine, and you introduced me to James too. So shout out James at Wicked Ways.
Yep.
He's also real good too.
For sure. He's helped me a lot in my making and everything like that, and he's gonna teach me way more than what I know now. So that guy is definitely, you know,
So he
Hooked
was the
me up.
person. He was the person who like kind of made you feel like, wow, like
Like
I could do this.
Yeah, really. I mean, he was like, dude, you give it a try. You know, why not?
Yeah.
So, you know, I ended up buying the machine and with friends and family who were willing to let me practice on their legs.
Yeah, yeah.
I've made some not so good tattoos, but you learn and
You have to
yeah,
start somewhere
yeah,
because
you
like
have to start, you know. And people say, "Oh, go to tattoo school." That's not a thing.
right, yeah,
Certification, you're being a license or whatever. Shops own licenses. Artists don't have license, you know.
Mhm.
So
unless they have their own like personal business, but
Yeah.
that's
But
also something.
that's
to the
kind of how
side.
that works. Your certifications, your bloodborne pathogens certifications, and being able to deal with COVID patient. or
So
not
once you're in
patients,
a actual like studio, like they'll help you set that stuff up to get all that.
but yeah, I'm in the process of getting all my certifications and stuff like that.
Well,
before
that's-
I can.
That's sweet, man. So
So-
is it like chair rent? Like you have to rent out like the space in there?
The way that I was introduced to it was the percentage way.
Okay, yeah,
Which,
okay.
you know, you just do a tattoo for a percentage, and I keep some, and it's whatever you charge. Tips, whatever. If I tell someone $20 a tattoo, and they give me 40, I automatically will keep 20 because
Right.
that was a tip. Artists will get the tip, but now the other 20.
A percentage of that goes
yeah,
to the
that-
company.
That's where that percentage will get split up.
Yeah,
know?
definitely,
That's
definitely.
where that will kind of come. But it's still good, and you know that's why I did say it grosses me out, but I do want to get into piercing.
Right.
Just because why not? You know, you're sitting there, and Wicked Ways has a lot of sales on the weekends of you know the piercings, and I haven't really paid attention to the prices, but I've gotten mine there before, and Brittany's gotten hers. You know, my girlfriend, and
Yeah.
I've known a lot of people who get piercings there. I work there now, so I see, you know, there could be hour
Who comes in
waits.
and comes out.
Yeah, there's
Especially when it's like right by Grand Valley and like
Yeah.
so many people live over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know right now due to the fact of like COVID and everything,
Mhm.
but like once like all that is over, like I'm sure business is gonna be booming. You know.
oh yeah, and I mean don't get me wrong, but you got stimulus checks coming out, you got people on unemployment, you got stuff coming out. People have
People
been
just-
sitting, you know, at home during COVID, have a lot to think about. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure a lot of people have thought about tattoos, and they're coming in. You
Yeah.
know, I see it.
People are using the money to do what they want to do
Yeah.
do with
And
it.
the piercings and stuff are the same thing. Just Saturday. Yep, Saturday. I walked out of my room after doing a tattoo, and there was 23 people in the lobby all waiting. I go out
Jeez.
there, every single one was a piercing. We only had one piercer on there. So I'm like, you know, if I get in on that, it not only will it help my coworkers, because that guy's stressed, you know.
Right, because he's doing a bunch of them.
And he's a tattoo artist too.
So he's trying to work around that scheduling for tattooing and
Yes.
piercings. Yeah, dude. If I was working there, I'd be like, someone help me,
Yeah.
please.
And it's, you know, we have another person who pierces and stuff too, and, you know, people are just busy. So it's nice to know everything, or, you know, it's just nice to have front counter and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
'cause,
know
like,
how to use
especially-
all that stuff.
Especially with like, for like me personally, I might want a select tattoo artist,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really matter who pierces something on me. You know,
Mhm.
like I'm more willing to be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do it because you have like someone just got here early for their tattoo,
Mhm.
and someone else is available. Sure, whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me. But like they're just putting a hole through my body in comparison to like the work that's gonna be on me, like forever. You know, kind of stuff.
Yeah. And piercings are quick, dude. They're so quick. That guy, you know, those 20 people, he got done in an hour. So you do 20 piercings in an hour, you know,
Sheesh.
you're moving a lot of customers
Clientele, yeah.
in and out of the building. So that's good with COVID and everything too. Get them in, get them out. You know, happy customer, you're good. And I'm learning a lot of that too, because you know the way I was tattooing, just having people come over to the house and stuff and getting work done. And
Right. Yeah.
that was my experience and everything, and it was nice and everything, but kind of getting into this and being more professional and You know, I clean my table just every day, numerous times a day. My bed, you know, I'm constantly cleaning my room, the floor, mop the shop every single day, countertops. You learn to be so much more sanitary getting into a shop.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, the bloodborne pathogen stuff, I wrap my clip cord, my machine, tape everything up. My machine will never get any kind of blood or anything on it. Unless I break the machine down after a tattoo the wrong way, but you know, I try to stay as sterile as possible and not touch everything. It sounds wrong, but it's a real life thing, and you have to treat every single customer. I learned this. You have to treat every single customer that comes in to get tatted as if they have AIDS, because anything that you touch of their blood onto something else, cross-contamination is a thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, you know, I say you have to treat it that way, but that's kind of how clean you have to be. You know, you have to be.
You have to
very
think worst
cautious.
case scenario,
Yes.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Worst case scenario is kind of the best way to put it, exactly. And with walk-ins, I try to make them feel comfortable, because working there already, I've done a few people's first tattoos.
Right, and you want them to like feel comfortable with you and like
I want them to
trust
come
you,
back
kind of
if
thing.
they want
Yeah,
to,
if they
you know,
like it, they'll be like, "Wow, this dude did a great job. Let me just
touch
hit him up."
if
Like,
it needs
yeah, like
anything.
I need a touch up.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I want to add on.
Yep.
Like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's huge, especially for someone that's new. Like to build a clientele. Like
Yeah, doing someone's first tattoo and being their only experience, I guess you would say, of having a tattoo. You know, you're the only person who's ever tattooed that person. And if
Right.
you create a good experience, the chances of them coming back to you for the second tattoo are perfect, you know. They're pretty high chances. And then third and fourth. And that's kind of how James got me, you know. My first experience was great. Working or coming into Wicked Ways and my first ever tattoo and everything. And I kept coming back to him. And getting tattooed, I learned a lot of how to hook clients and stuff and wanting to come back. And you know.
So I have a question for you. We've been talking about how you've been there. What are your days? What are your hours? So people can like already kind of be aware of that. So like if they do hit you up or anything from this, then like they know time wise.
Okay, so I'm at Wicked Ways in Allendale. It's right by the Marathon gas station, a little further down. If you're coming from downtown Grand Rapids, you pass Grand Valley, go past there, go past the McDonald's. There's the Marathon and Family Fair. Across from there, Wicked Ways in Allendale.
So Wicked Ways, Allendale.
And I am there Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 8 o'clock. And Sundays I will come in for a half day, 12 to 4, and do a tattoo. And that's still quite a bit of work you can get done.
Yeah. In 4 hours, yeah.
That's a decent size, one tattoo, one customer.
My tattoo, I think, when James did it, took about 2 hours-ish.
Yeah, probably.
And, like, yeah, you were there with me. Mm-hmm. It took about, like, 2 hours, and, I mean, it's my whole calf, pretty much. So, like, that's a lot of work that you can get done in 2 hours. Like, 4 hours, you could get a full piece.
Mm-hmm. And for people getting our idea, our shop minimum $60, so anything basic, and feel free to contact me on the social media and everything and send me your ideas, and you know, I'll be completely honest with people. I've been tattooing for a year. I do have a couple hundred tattoos of experience, so I do know what I'm doing a little bit. I'm still learning, but send me your ideas and everything like that, and I will truly tell you, hey, I can do this, or give me a little bit of time, or if you want it right away, I feel no wrong of sending you to another artist like James.
And if anyone is like skeptical on like what you do and stuff, and like, oh, he's only been doing it for a year, dude, he's been doing it for a year. And he's already become an apprentice at an actual studio. Like, if that doesn't say something as itself, like, I've told you multiple times when you, like, told me about all this possibility, I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, congrats, blah, blah, blah. But, like, the the tattooing speaks for itself. So like if you're curious, go check him out. Go see what he does. Go see what he like has done. Like I've gotten a tattoo from him. Like I love the tattoo. We had to touch it up at one point.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you need to do that. I mean, it doesn't matter. And like that, I got that tattoo probably before your first like 50 tattoos, maybe even first 25. So like,
and just the other day I had, I guess you could kind of say it cover up, and that was.
Oh yeah, I remember you sending me that Snapchat.
That was probably 2 or 3 that I've done now, and so I can get into that too. And not many people are gonna be willing to try to get into a cover up after a first year, but Wicked Ways is one of the biggest shops in Grand Rapids. We have multiple locations, we have multiple artists. It's a
flexible for time too.
And there's other people, other shops and stuff that are very well known, but Wicked Ways is well known. And for someone to be tattooing for a year and get their foot in the door into a tattoo shop, it, like you said, it's got to speak for something. And I don't.
Oh, for sure.
I don't want to,
Yeah.
Well, I'm all great and everything. Like,
trust me, I know. This is for you, man. This is to promote you, and you don't have to do any of that. Like that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm your hype man right now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But basically, like I'm super proud of you, and like I know that like a lot of things, like you I've always like kind of focused one thing and you go hard on it, and then if it doesn't pan out, like you're like, all right, damn, I'm gonna try something else. And like once you did this and you stuck with it, and like, dude, it just shows like how much like when you're willing to be dedicated to yourself, like how you are when you do like certain things, it shows like immensely from your first tattoo to where you are now. Yeah. And like I'm proud of you. I'm wanting to get more work, so like if once I can get like a tattoo and set up a time with you, like obviously we'll talk about that kind of stuff like off the podcast. Yeah. But I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready to get in there again.
For sure. And I mean, weekends are filling up quick, I will be honest, weekends are filling up. So if there are people that want to contact me, weekdays are pretty much open. I do a lot of walk-ins though, so still book an appointment with me if you'd like some work, and that's the best way. But like I said, I take Mondays off. I do a half day on Sunday, give myself time to
reboot,
go home and feel, because you're going home at 8 o'clock at night and possibly drawing up the tattoo for your noon appointment at 1. It's constantly tattooing has, I will say, kind of taken over my life getting into the shop, because I constantly think, dream, draw, anything tattooing related. I do it. I look it up, and I'm either ordering something about tattooing, or tattoos are always talked about when it comes
definitely
to now.
So how many tattoos do you have personally?
Personally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11 tattoos.
11.
Sheesh. And like I know already, like how do you feel about your tattoos? Like what you got for yourself? Like I know there's some people who just want to get something because they think it's cool. There's some people that has like really momentum, like a memory going off of that tattoo. There's people that like just are just like what's the word, like
spur of the moment stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was exactly trying to say.
That's a lot of walk-ins. Same with piercings too, I guess.
So how would you describe like your tattoos? Like obviously like you're wearing a hoodie right now, and I'm not gonna say like show us your tattoos and like explain them, but like just kind of explain the tattoos you have and like how you felt about it and like the story or something behind it.
So all my tattoos have been planned for years. The rest of my sleeves, my legs, everything are planned out. So I mean, I've been thinking about this stuff for 3-4 years, and
right,
the more I think about it, I still want it.
100%.
It's not on my body, so that's how I plan my stuff.
Because you don't want to be iffy about something that's going to be on you forever.
So I'll think of something, I'll be like, okay, next summer I'm going to get this. By the time next summer or next winter or whatever comes along, by the time it gets to that point, if I still want it, I will get it. Or I will wait even longer. If I'm more hesitant, I'll wait. But yeah, tattooing isn't it's an expression. Life is short. You know,
Right.
you get things on your body that you may think is cute and fine and but the whole people say, oh, you get older and so many people have tattoos. When the people who say, oh, when you get older,
or you're not going to be able to get a job if you have tattoos.
Yeah,
like the stigma is changing, and it's been changing for a while now. I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't want to get a tattoo because like I'm not going to be able to, like, what if they don't want to hire me because like I have this tattoo? If it's not like profanity, then it shouldn't really matter, especially if it's like something that means a lot to you.
And then when it comes down to it, the same person who will say, oh, why would you do that to your body? If you ask that person, would you ever get a tattoo? Or what would you get a tattoo of?
Right.
They would sit there and say, oh, I'd get my kid's name, or oh, I would do this, or
something that means a lot to them.
They have something that says it means a lot to them. Everyone's different, but that person will judge someone who gets a frog tattooed on their leg. It's like,
yeah, but that frog could have like
yeah,
a story behind it that you have no clue.
Yeah, you have no idea, and everybody's their own person. It's a sense of expression. You express yourself, and I have so many people that come in and out of the shop that I don't necessarily will tattoo, but there's other people who go along with it where I will still appreciate the process of it, and like when it's done, you're like, dude, that's a nice tattoo. I wouldn't wear that, but that's cool, and I'm glad that you're expressing yourself the way you want to.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the more people will be accepting, I think it already is, but things are going to change. By the time we're older,
it's not going to matter because like the people who are the higher ups who are hiring people, and they're like right now, and like that's why there's like a stigma around it that like, oh, I can't do that because I don't want it to like interfere with me getting a job. Well, once our generation is in the power of hiring and stuff, like they're not going to think of, oh, your tattoos, but your credentials are pretty good. Nah, they're going to think, oh, you got like really good credentials, and not even think of the tattoos, because like it doesn't matter about like what a person looks like or how a person acts or whatever. It depends on the credentials. They're going to do the best benefit for your company to hire someone.
Yeah.
That is something that like I feel like a lot of people need to know, that like you can't just judge a book by its cover. Like some dude could have tattoos galore head to toe, and like there was an article on Twitter years ago, and it was like this teacher who was 27 and he tattooed his entire body from literally head to toe, shaved his head, did everything.
Yeah.
And like he got fired on the spot. Granted, like maybe that's a little excessive.
Yeah,
but
mean, stuff like that is.
You can't judge a book by a cover. Like if that guy was teaching for, I don't know, if he was 27 or so, and like he was teaching for 3 or 4 years already, and like build a great relationship with parents and the staff and the faculty and everything, like why get rid of someone that's like doing so much for you guys?
Say a teacher, 3rd grade has every kid draw a picture, and goes into a tattoo artist and gets 30 tattoos of every single thing the kid's done, and the teacher goes back to the school. It's like, that's really cool that teacher did that, but is he gonna get fired? Probably.
But maybe not in the future.
Yeah, hopefully in the future things gotta change. But yeah, I mean, back to the tattoos, back to the wicked ways and stuff. I mean, I have a lot of appointments and stuff open, but I am booking fast, and I will say I've looked at my own work and criticized some of my recent work, and things are improving, and I feel like by the end of March I'll be able to take off and do a lot of different things. I'm hoping to have the whole month of April booked. Every single day except for my Mondays. I need my Mondays back.
Right. But trust me, I know that.
I do want every day booked, at least one appointment of April. That's a goal of mine. So
that'd be awesome.
I set my goals, I said, I want to get that new machine. I started off with a coil machine. That thing was loud. It sounded like a vacuum,
Right, yeah.
That thing was awful.
I remember.
And then I was like, I gotta buy a new machine that's quiet, something good, strong.
Reliable.
Bought that, invested. probably the best investment ever, because that investment is paid for itself times.
I remember when we were living with each other, and like when you went from the coil to the new one,
Yeah.
just the tattoos that you did at that point in time were immensely better.
Yeah.
Just because of the machine.
Dude, it was like someone who tattooed and then stopped for 10 years and then picked up a new machine, and
Yeah.
it was just like, huh? You know, it was weird. I know exactly what you mean, because
That's awesome that you're setting the goal for yourself, and like, I mean, I hope you reach it. That would be awesome if you do. Like,
yeah.
not only for yourself, but like also for the experience purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that you're going in the right direction with everything right now. So, but back to what you were saying about like everything.
Oh, I mean, I just really want to get booked. That's a goal of mine, just because I have set a lot of goals of buy that new machine. When I bought that new machine, I was like, all right, hopefully I can get in a shop one day. And I set myself, I said, hopefully after a year I need to get in a shop. Surprisingly enough, it happened.
Right.
Which I was just like, even to this day, I'm like, you know what? You know, after a year and you get into a shop, you know, even if I'm doing one tattoo a week, I'm still in a shop and I'm still being able to learn.
Right.
You know, so, but that's not the case. I'm usually doing at least
Knowledge is
tattoos.
power, man. Yeah.
2 to 3 tattoos a day. Yesterday I did 4 tattoos. So.
4 tattoos, and
On
that was
Sunday.
I know it was your Sunday
On
from
Sunday.
noon to 4.
Yeah.
You're
Noon to 4. I did 4 tattoos and a cover up. So. You could see the experiences that I'm getting in it. I'm not just someone who, you know, that I'm tattooing every single day. So when a walk-in comes in, I want them to know, look, if I tell you I'm capable of doing this tattoo, I will give you a good tattoo.
Mhm.
If I'm not, I will sit there and tell you, no, I can't do this. I will find you someone who can, or.
And that's awesome that like your people
Yes.
that you work with are really arms open, and like you can like refer someone like, all right, hey, dude, right across the hall.
Yeah.
Like, let me go pop in and ask him real quick if he's
They've done the
available.
same. They've
Yeah.
definitely done the same. You know, the girl across the hall from me literally sent me a client yesterday.
That's
and
sweet.
said, you know, do this tattoo, because her friend was there getting a tattoo and she wanted one. She was like, well, he's not doing nothing, go across the hall, you know, he'll do your tattoo. I did it. They left at the same time. They were happy. Boom. So
Back to what you were saying, like how you draw your own tattoos.
Yeah.
You drew my tattoos. Like, do you draw everyone's tattoo, or do some people come in and they're like, hey, like I have like this idea, and you get to create it yourself, or do you like tell me about the whole drawing thing?
I've switched to iPad
Right.
now, so everything I draw.
Because
is
you used to
now
be
on
by
iPad.
hand.
Yes, I used to draw everything on hand and on paper, and that's how I did it.
Right.
Now I switched to an iPad, so I still can draw stuff by hand if I want to. But
Another big investment for yourself.
yeah, dude, I prefer to draw it on the iPad because I can send it right to my printer as size and everything. You know, a customer comes in and says, look, I want this. I can say, hey, airdrop it to me. They airdrop it to me. I put it into my system. I make a stencil, and then I print it right there to the perfect size. And then I go and make the stencil, put it on. So this thing has really been a time saver.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I can also draw on here too. I've had people say, I want something like this, 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 and this. You know.
Come up with an idea.
I said, you know, since you have an appointment, send it a couple days early. Boom, I'll get it figured out when I have some spare time. Draw it up. I'll send it to them before their appointment. They come back. At that point, I can just adjust the size.
Right.
So I'll adjust the size of it. But I can always have the tattoo pretty much prepped out when they come there. And unless it's like font things. When people say, you know, I want writing or I want font, usually I almost wait because I have a generator that does fonts on here, so I'll just type.
Because you want their opinion, because you
Yeah.
obviously you want to give them what they want in comparison to what you think would look good.
Yeah, whatever they say a font or something like that, I'll punch it in, have them scroll through, 180 fonts or something like that, and they find something, and then I'll basically print that off right from my printer, and then whatever comes out of the printer, that's what I trace. So I'll usually have almost, if people come in, I'll spend an hour and a half, 2 hours on a stencil if I have to.
Right.
Because the stencil the more work you do in a stencil, the less work you have to do in a tattoo. It sounds weird, but you know, James introduced that to me the other day. He's like, you know, cross-referencing is a thing, and doing this, you know, back and forth from your reference to your skin to your reference, you know, that's time. But if you're on the stencil, dude, you could just sit there and just
draw it out exactly how you want it.
Skin all day, you know, just sit there.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like there's a lot of people who don't even really understand like tattooing, and probably like it's going in one ear and out the other for them right now. But like to me, this is all really interesting.
Yeah.
So for yourself, your own goals, your motivations, how do you like, as a person, as yourself, what makes you so driven? Like what makes you like want to accomplish what you want to accomplish, set the goal so high? What keeps you like working hard?
Dude, really, I have no idea what it does. Might be my younger brother, really. Just trying to, you know, make sure I set some sort of an example of success.
Right. Yeah.
Something to make him kind of be like, oh,
a role model kind of thing.
I want to see that, or I want that, you know. He tells me all the time, you know, dude, your computer, you have an iPad, like you got this stuff, you know. He thinks it's cool and he wants it, and I tell him, you know, work hard, dude. You know, this is what you got to do. You know, if you want to be good at basketball or something, dude, you have to
put the time and effort into.
Go outside and go dribble a basketball right now. You know, and tell him, you know, you just got to work. But for the most part, he's built a pretty driven attitude as well. So
yeah, I understand that. I mean, that makes sense.
I just with tattooing too, dude. I do so many tattoos, and I take a picture of every single one, where at the end of the day I look back at it, and when I get home I criticize every single dot, because that's what it is. Tattooings are dots. Every single, I take it dot by dot when I do tattoos, and you'll see me if I ever do another one, or I'm sure I'm going to do another tattoo on you, but
yeah,
I take everything dot by dot. I go very soft, and I build up my color. I'll start very lightly, and you've seen me do this with your other ones. I've always done this. I start lightly, and I just build up the lines, because you can always add, and I
can't take away. Yeah, right.
You know, so I just take it dot by dot, and I criticize my work a lot at night, and come in every day and hope that what I learned from that criticism.
You're a perfectionist, man.
That criticization or whatever, you know. However, I looked at that tattoo last night. When I go into the shop tomorrow, that tattoo has to be better than that one.
Right.
So every single day, a better tattoo better be produced.
Get better every day kind of mentality. All right, I see that.
I mean, if I don't do it, it does. It kind of sticks with me, bothers me. If I got a day, so far I've been in the shop, and I have had one day where I did not do a tattoo. One day. And that was probably the worst day ever. 8 hours, you know, just sitting there drawing. Every time that door, you know,
you get excited and let down.
Signs, you know, I look out my window, and it's just someone filling out a piercing waiver, and I'm like,
damn.
Yeah, you know, it's just like, or they're coming in for an appointment. So there are slow days, but like I said, that's why an appointment is best. I like appointments because I can plan it out, and
if you can contact them, you get the stuff already done. So
myself personally, I'm so much more prepared because I know what's gonna happen. Yeah. You know, someone's like, I want a tattoo of this, you know, and send me a picture. I have it, and I'm like, okay, I do it on the 28th. Come the 28th, and I go into work. I know what I'm doing that day. I'm excited for that, you know. But a walk-in is kind of like,
you never know what you're gonna get.
It just hits you, you know. But for the most part, they are very basic walk-ins.
You get something a little small, like friendship ones. Yeah. Oh, me and my friends want to get this.
Basically, shop minimum tattoos.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, you know.
You're never getting like hey, I want a full chest piece.
No.
What if someone did that? You'd be like, well.
You got to book an appointment.
Yeah, I would probably say the same thing.
Yeah, that's another thing with podcasts too, dude. If people got to get a hold of me, or I guess if they call the shop Wicked Ways in Allendale, they can ask for me over the phone. But you know, a lot of the times the best way is probably Facebook or Instagram because people are tattooing. It's hard. When I have a client in my room, every noise outside of my room is irrelevant.
Right.
When I'm going to give you a really good experience when you come into my tattoo room. So I'm not going to pause, stop, or anything like that, you know. But I am learning, so I may go. James, who's teaching me, is across the hall. So I will go across the hall every now and then and pause and be like, hey, you know,
come check this out.
Yeah, check this out. Should I add a little bit more detail right here, you know? Should I add a little bit of a lighter shade right here? You think it will give a little bit more? And he helps me out. Yes, no, or make that line a little bit bolder right there. Add one more thickness to it, you know?
Yeah. For your iPad, when you do drawing, like, can you shade on there too, or no?
Yeah.
No, that helps probably a ton too.
Everything, yeah. They make brushes on there, paint brushes, all kinds of things on there, and I can line in different depths and thickness and stuff like that, and then I can go in there and add shading. But a lot of the times I'll do 2 different layers so then I can print off a stencil without shading. So when it's on the skin, you know, I'm not smearing around because the stencils tend to smear. Sometimes, you know, you do have to let them dry up on the skin, and that's why I said a really good stencil makes a really good tattoo, because essentially you just trace over it, and I don't think a lot of people really kind of think of it that way as you are. You're just tracing over it, and as long as you have a steady hand, I got a pretty steady hand. I stay soft, so if I do have one of those like, oh, you know, I gotta step away for a second, take a deep breath, okay, go back into it. Because I've done it before, you know, where you might be leaned over in the wrong position, and you're like, I feel a little uncomfortable, I don't want to, because it is a thing, if you feel uncomfortable and you're tattooing, you may not want to do that line, because you feel like at some point you may jerk or something like that, so you want to make sure you're really nice and comfortable. And,
probably like the same for like how like you're looking at it too, because like you'd be looking at it one way, but like it's going in the wrong, like the opposite, or going in a different angle than you want.
Hold my machine too. You could definitely block your view with a machine, so you want to get side, you know. But that's more on like teaching someone how to tattoo. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, man. I think we're gonna wrap this podcast up because it's been about an hour already, and I know it doesn't feel like it's been an hour, but I think this is a great promotional thing for you. Mm-hmm. Check out Benito Hernandez Jr. on Facebook, Tats by Blanco on Instagram. Hit him up to get any of your tattoo work. Wicked Ways in Allendale. Shout out to James. I mean, he helped me out get my first tattoo. Benny is someone that is moving for this goal, and I'm happy that you came on here, and like, even though it's your Monday, it's your day off, I'm glad that you took the time and was like, yeah, dude, I'll hop on the podcast, because I wanted to do this for you to like make us more known to people who don't maybe not even know of you, or like know that you do tattooing kind of thing. Yeah. So I mean, I'm proud of you. I'm happy that you got this apprenticeship. It's all up from here, man. Like, just keep it going. Hopefully, man. I'm looking to kind of take off the title of an apprenticeship by the end of summer. Right. Just kind of be you know, the tattoo artist. Yeah. So hopefully, at that point, you know, I'll stop calling myself an apprentice when I feel comfortable with how 80 to 90% of the tattoos that someone asks me for. Right. You know, every artist will turn away a tattoo if it's something too realistic. You'll say, you know, I can't do that. That's not my style. Yeah. You know, someone comes to me, some Japanese stuff or koi fish, you know, I'll do it, but there's a lot of research in that stuff, you know. You got to come accommodated to like how like you should actually do it. Yeah, because there's rules. The style. There's rules to that stuff. So every Japanese work has rules. I didn't know that. The way they face and stuff, you don't have them facing towards the back. They always have to look forward on the body. You're a warrior. You don't look back. You look forward. You know. Well, that's cool, dude. I actually did not know that. That's pretty fun fact of the day. Yeah, there you go, man. All right, man. I'm happy to do this with you. Thank you for doing this and sitting down with me. It's been a pleasure. Shout out to everyone that's listening and that listened to our conversation. You guys have mean a lot to me, like just listening in and making this a reality. I'm doing this kind of podcast for the purpose of promoting people. Yeah, sometimes I'm gonna like sit down and talk to my friends, but I just want to do this to help people and showcase what like their abilities are. I mean, you can't get somewhere if you don't like know someone who knows something. So,
Right.
I mean, I want to do that for you, man. So I'm happy to do that, and thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, everyone, and until next time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.